Hello everyone. Thought I'd put some little hearts and sparkles around me for this one because there seems to be quite a lot of friction going on at the moment. Obviously we had the big news yesterday evening that the Queen has now officially passed away. You know, there are a lot of questions for many people as to whether, you know, that's the actual real time, or whether, as seems to be the case with these kind of big passings, that they're presented at a certain time. Anyway, doesn't really matter. That's happened. So obviously it's a big deal over here in Britain, and you know, kind of around the world as well, really. But I just wanted to just kind of remind people, maybe gently, to watch where your energies are being pulled, where your focus is, and what's kind of coming up and being put out there, because online, at least, very much there's quite a lot of how should we say, like conflict, differing of opinions about the Queen and the royals in general. I certainly have my views. I've never really hidden them. I've never really made a big deal about them. You know, I'm not a fan, let's put it that way. But you know, I'm not one to kind of celebrate the death of anybody either. That's not really me. You know, perhaps if I knew that all the evil in the world would end when one particular person died, maybe I would become someone who would celebrate that. It's just not really kind of something that I put any energy into. But obviously some people do, and other people are really taking exception to that. I've just been watching you know, it kind of playing out online, which is always the place where the most conflict happens. As I've said many times before, meeting physically quite often dispels that kind of energy, because when you're face to face with someone, it's very different to being behind a keyboard and you haven't got that personal interaction and that exchange of actual energy physically, where you're more likely, if you're you know, at least trying to be a harmonious person, then you know, you're more likely to listen to somebody else's views without being, you know, straight on the attack. So yeah, obviously online it's very different, and it's a bit like road rage, I think. Somehow it just reminds me of that kind of sort of removed energy somehow. I've been there. I think a lot of us have. But what I would say is, like, just you know, it's very easy to get dragged into these things. It's all distraction, and I think it's important to remember as well that any kind of division, you know, conflict, anger, all those, you know, the lower frequencies, then those, you know, the power brokers, you know, the controllers or wannabes, they love it. They don't probably actually prefer all of the conflict and arguing and back and forth than a country united in grief and love and kind. That's actually probably you know, less satisfying for them, because it's all about the vibration and the frequency and the energy. And so when you're getting this, you know, people within groups falling out unfriending and, you know, getting really offended about things on both sides, it's kind of feeding the beast. And I think, you know, there's always a middle ground. So I absolutely have my views about what purpose the royal families serve within this matrix system. Yeah, you know, I have my views, but I also am perfectly capable of accepting that people within our circles don't share that view for whatever reason. You know, either there's not been the kind of research, they haven't gone down that path, or they kind of, you know, they've just got a different view. Maybe they've done the research and they don't believe it, or, you know, whatever it is. We're constantly going to come up against people who do not share our views, who might share like 80-90% of the others, but for whatever reason, this one particular thing, or these certain things, you just don't feel the same way about. And we're all at different stages of understanding. There will be things that I think now that this time next year, maybe I'll look back and think, oh God, how could I not have realised or understood, or, you know, just done a complete 180 with new information. And it's the same for everyone. So I think, you know, for us really to evolve and get out of this trap of the dense low energies and that constant feeling of being having to defend yourself and your views, and there's got to be that kind of, okay, I feel this way, they feel that way, you know, we're on the same page, like we want freedom, we want our autonomy, all of these things, but there are going to be these individual topics, subjects, whatever, where we're just not going to see eye to eye on everything. But can we override that? Can we overlook that? And what I found is, when you're with your people physically in your groups, so when you're at your stand, or, you know, speaking for myself, and oh my God, so many different views and beliefs and opinions, all differing, and yet there's this overriding sense of togetherness that holds everyone together. And I don't think I've ever witnessed a genuine falling out. I think people that really do have kind of very differing views, they gravitate to those who share those, and then the others will gravitate to people who are more on their wavelength. But there's still that kind of glue that holds everyone together, because the stands were never about getting people together who hold exactly the same views and beliefs and opinions on things. That was, you know, the whole premise is that we come together for freedom and personal truth and personal truth. So what's true to one person might not be to somebody else, but it's that overall vibration of seeking truth and believing, wanting freedom. And I think if you can overlook the you know, the differences in belief and opinion, and focus on that, then it kind of falls away, and you might actually be able to have a really enlightening conversation about, oh, how come you know, what is it you think about this that I'm not seeing, or I don't, you know, where is it you're coming from? And even if you don't end up having any like actual agreement or changing your view, there's still that space of acceptance. And so it's not about having to respect others' views. You know, some people have views I will never respect, because to me they're absolutely abhorrent. But I do respect their right to have that different view. You know, there's got to be that level of tolerance, because as we're seeing, you know, what's playing out here is this total intolerance, you know, the censorship and everything, where you are not allowed to think differently or feel differently, and you will be castigated and shamed and deplatformed, you know, all of these things. We can't have that going on within our community. So, you know, for me personally, I don't watch telly. I don't look at any news. So obviously I'm picking up what's going on through the sort of more alternative newsy kind of thing, or articles. I don't actually go and look at news. But, you know, there's no avoiding it. You're always going to find out what you need to find out. So I'm well away. I've already been hearing on the radio. We know it's going to be constant here. It's a big thing for the next few weeks, and obviously like beyond. And so I'm, you know, for me personally, I have my views. I'm perfectly happy for people who feel differently to go through what it is they're going through, and but all this getting offended, and you know, some people really do express themselves in ways that I wouldn't choose to, but it's kind of like, I think with these online groups, it's like a buffet. It's like life really, isn't it? Pick and choose what resonates, what's good for you. Obviously if it's something's overwhelmingly negative on the whole, then it for you, then step away. But I think I think there's a bit of kind of throwing out the baby with the bathwater with a lot of this stuff, and it's funny, I've noticed it. I don't know what it is, but just recently, people, you know, putting things out about unfriend me if you believe this, or unfriend me if you don't believe that, and it's just like, wow. We really want to be creating something different in the face of what they up there, or they believe they're up there, want for us. They love all that. So if we can actually kind of go against you know, what that sort of like reactive state, and actually just, okay, do I really want to be putting loads of energy into this and feeding something and getting really het up, and yeah, just like unplug the energy source from it. So yeah, that's it in the UK. I mean, yeah, there's like the reverberations around the world. I mean, I really it's a circus to me. I think, you know, things, it's always a distraction. So also I think you know, it's all speculation about what's going to come next and what does it mean and blah blah blah, all of this stuff. But it's very, you know, it can take your focus off other, you know, look over here, and all this stuff's playing out there, so be wary of that as well. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say about it. Don't get played, I think, is the message. Don't let yourself get drawn into this very, very divisive. They're always going to be really divisive topics and things, and this is one of them. So we got to accept where people are at, where we're at in relation to that, and yeah, life is a lot, it's a lot less harsh, and there isn't that need for getting offended and having to defend oneself. So yeah, if people don't like what others are saying about stuff, okay, that's fine, that's you. It's our choice as to whether we get dragged into it and start reacting and getting really upset. And so it's not, like I say, it's not about having to accept or respect the actual belief or view, but the right to hold that and go, okay, you know, I'll park that with you, that's yours, this is mine, but the overall focus is that we want freedom, and you know, at some point all of these things will be revealed, you know, and they'll probably be absolute shockers for me, undoubtedly, that I'm sure that I'm kind of entrenched in certain beliefs and views at the moment that will be blown to pieces at some point. We never know it all, so I think have a bit of compassion, you know, for ourselves and each other, and yeah, just hold on. Again, like, the roller coaster continues, and yeah, if you're too much focused on all this, the madness out there, because let's face it, it's non-stop. It's literally something almost, you know, daily to get pulled off, like whipped away out of your kind of more present awareness, and so yeah, that's it. Anyway, I hope you've had good, I don't even know what time it is, it's gone midday, isn't it? So yeah, good rest of the day, evening, wherever it is you are, and lots of love to you all, and I'll speak to you soon. Mwah. Lots of love. Peace.